The third one on the list is also pretty obvious: disuse. Forgetting through disuse is both normal and unavoidable. The old saying is true: use it or lose it. So what I wanted to kind of remind everybody about, because I think you all know this, it's just most people don't do it, is to retain material, to hang on to it in your brain. You must engage in ongoing review and application. So when do most people review for a test? Yeah, right before. It might be like 10 minutes before, or it might be the night before, and maybe this is 3 weeks worth of lectures and the textbook. You're asking way too much of your brain by doing that. So what you need to do is review the night before, but it's not going back and dusting off these old memories from like 3 weeks ago. You should be doing it ongoing, 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes another day, 5 minutes another day, just little bits of time just to keep it fresh in your mind. And then when the night before comes, it makes it so much easier. There's way less stress for you. Okay, and then number 4, I just wanted to point this out really quickly. What I just taught you about definitions is related to this. I didn't use the term changed cues. The problem, you may have all the information you need stored away in your mind, but be unable to recall it if the right cue is missing. In other words, if you study the material one way and the test questions presented in another, you may be unable to remember. So the way to fix that again is to work on learning things in your own words and not be so stiff with it that you're just trying to memorize the words on the card or on the sheet. Okay, and then the other thing, I wanted to show you a couple things on the back in this ways to improve your memory. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this term, but it says under number 1, match your memory approach to the material you need to learn. There are 2 basic ways to memorize. One is by rote. I don't know if you've heard that phrase before. That just means mechanically. The other one's by understanding. So everybody here, when you learned your times tables, your multiplication tables, I don't think you sat there and thought, 4 times 5. Now, that's interesting. Now, why would that be 20? You just memorized it, right? 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. Just like mechanically over and over again. Some things in college, that's the way you should learn them. Other things, that's not the way you should learn them. And I've had some students memorize the factual information, and then they got to a test and the teacher asked them to show deep understanding of it, not just a quick little memorization. So you need to kind of double check with teachers and find out, am I supposed to just memorize this, or do I need to know more than just the words there? And they'll help you, they'll kind of guide you with that. And then the last thing, which may sound a little strange, and I don't want to ever ruin anybody's sleep in here, because sleep is so important. It says number 3, sleep on it. Review and refresh your memory before going to bed unless you are physically or mentally overtired. Freshly learned material is better remembered after a period of sleep than after an equal period of daytime activity when interference takes place. Now, if you are getting ready for bed and one eye is already closed and you can't even open it, or drool is starting to come down, don't study. Go to bed, okay? But if you're just tired, just regular tired, sometimes sitting and not studying hard or learning, but just reviewing for 10 or 15 minutes and then going to bed, it's not that you're going to dream about that all night, hopefully, but you have a tendency to remember more of that in the morning than you do if you learned it at 9 in the morning and tried to remember it like at 7 at night. Because during the day, you've got so many things going on that takes your mind away. When you're sleeping, things tend to just sort of hang there, and you are sometimes able to remember. And so the one exception to that, I always say, is math. Don't study math right before you go to bed, because then while you're sleeping,